And the other thing is, based on where the market is opening, you need to adjust call and put symbols every day. Like if the market yesterday opened at 24,700, what I do usually is like 200 points in the money put and 200 points in the money calls are the ones that I observe for the divergence. And this is again based on market volatility. If the market is not so volatile, you can have this number a little big, but if the market is volatile, it is better to have this number less because this will reduce a lot of noise signals. Now, if you say it this particular range, we can avoid this signal because this is a different level. The call and put option that I chose will not be applicable at this level. Since market opened yesterday here, I chose 25,000 put and 24,600 call, which was with respect to the opening. So if you see, these two signals actually popped up correctly, and this is okay. If somebody wants to try this out, I can give the indicator to you. Works
सर
best in works best
इज
in
इट
selling.
लैगिंग इंडिकेटर और सर ये पहले ही शुरू में ही स्टार्ट हो जाता है?
As soon as the candle closes, you will get this indicator.
ओके सर, ओके जैसे जहाँ पर बाय है यहाँ पर 5 मिनट क्लोज होगा वैसे ही दे देगा अपने आप ही?
Yes.
ओके सर, थैंक यू। सर व्हाट
Sir,
इज
can
द
you repeat?
इंडिकेटर? कैन यू प्लीज वंस मोर टेल मी?
No. I got two questions at once. So, Satish, what were you saying?
No, sir. Actually, I joined little late. So, can you repeat this
Okay.
again?
And Barishkar ji, what did you ask?
और सर एक बार फिर से लॉजिक बता सकते हैं सर इस
Okay.
इंडिकेटर क्या है सर?
So, basically, right from my starting journey, most of my reversal trades, I get to catch those reversals when I see a divergence on spot versus options chart. Now, when I say divergence, I'll just show you guys with an example. I yesterday was following these four options. Now, divergence occurs mainly on in the money options. Out of the money options, divergence doesn't matter because most of the time that divergence is due to decay of options. So there will be a lot of false signals. So if at all we want to spot the divergence real time, it is better to always find them in the money options. Now, this is where yesterday I spotted a divergence. So this is 5 minute chart of 25,000 put. Now, why 25,000 put exactly? Because we opened at 24,800 sort of range yesterday in the Nifty. And wherever the opening range is, 200 points in the money put and 200 points in the money calls are where I look for divergence. So if you take this particular point, now what I meant by divergence is 1245, if you see, the initial day low right after opening the market was formed here at 1020, which is at this particular level 24,632, right? After this, the level broke only at this particular point, which is at 1235, and the new low is 24,626. Now, you might ask, like, these 2 points itself, there is a big divergence on put chart, but where again the filter is, between 10:20 and 12:35, 2 hours 10 minutes have already passed, which means that 2 hours decay will be captured in put price. So this decay will not be a reversal indicator. It is a normal decay that comes around. Now let's take the next breakout. Like 12:35, a low was formed, and the low was immediately broken at 12:45. So which is like 10 minutes apart. Now 10 minutes and all in the money call on put options will never decay in 10 minutes. So if you spot a divergence here, now if you see this corresponding price action in the put chart, so just remember this two timestamps, 1235 and 1245. This is where two fresh breakdown occurred on daily chart. Now if you see the 1235 candle, this is the 1235 candle. Now 1235 candle high is here. Now 1245 candle is only high is here, whereas according to spot chart, the high should have been somewhere here because 1245 low was much lower than 1235. But in options chart, it is not crossing its previous high, which is just 10 minutes before. So this is a perfect point of reversal. Now our indicator, which I have made, will capture this reversal. We don't need to monitor. The problem with this sort of style is you need to constantly monitor both call and put as well as the spot. So if this indicator is activated on your system, you don't need to monitor. It will give you signals on its own. You just need to make sure wherever you are entering, your stop loss is like only 6 or 7 points. The beauty of this indicator is you can take multiple times because you can trade multiple times whenever the signal comes because the stop loss is very, very less. Now, let's say in this particular instance, you got the signal after this candle closed at 1245. Now the next candle is starting here. Now it is telling you to buy. Let's say you buy it at this particular point start itself, which is like 24,628. Your stop loss is below this candle wick, which is 24,621. So it's only 7 points that you are risking against this much of a trend. Now, this trend might not happen every day because these are all very special reversals. We ultimately, I'll give you another strategy where you can keep on trading. But then the point is 7 points is a stop loss, and at any given point, whenever the signal is fired, you will at least get 20 to 25 points in your direction. So 1:3 is more or less confirmed, and this gives you a win ratio of like 85 to 90%. Only about 5 to 10% this sort of thing fails. So very easy to monitor, very easy to trade. Now again, day before yesterday, the market was operating in a similar sort of range. So for the given call and put options, even this range also justifies. So we got a clear sell signal here also. This gave about 40, 50 points. This was a false signal. Now here stop loss was hit because let's assume it gave signal here and you have entered after the candle closes here. Now if you have entered here, it is 24,568 and this candle high was 24,575. Again, 7 points stop loss. No harm. As soon as the candle high is hit, you are going to get out. You are not going to take again till the time the other signal doesn't pop up. This again is in the same range and again the same sort of signal. Now see the reversal here. You get so many points. So this is where I was thinking I'll tell you guys before you can actually use it. So if at all somebody wants to use it, I can share this. You can observe for like 3, 4 weeks and then get your own picture.
सर हाउ यू डिसाइड द टारगेट हियर सर आप टारगेट कैसे डिसाइड करेंगे इसमें
So minimum is 1:3, as I've said. Like in this case,
Oh,
7 points were our stop loss. So at least 20, 25 points. Once you get
okay.
to 20, 25 points, it is up to you if you want to get in or get out. And the earlier day structure will tell you whether to be there or get out, or if this particular signal is coming in the direction of the major trend, then it makes sense to sit. Like, but if like in the case of Friday, this is against the trend. Market is in the downtrend. It is saying you buy. So you'll have to trail very tightly.
Okay.
But my usual thing is 1:3. Whatever is the stop loss, at least have 1:3, book somewhat at 1:3, and then carry forward.
Okay, sir.
This is a simple option versus spot divergence. I have been using this for years, and you get very good reversals like this. But the only thing is, every time during the beginning of the day, based on wherever the market is opening, you'll have to adjust the call and put prices in this so that the correct options are like monitored for this particular indicator. Otherwise, this will not work. If you have not changed this at the beginning of the day, it will not work.
सर ये राउंड लेवल पर ही आप इसे एडजस्ट करते हैं जैसे 24 अगर 300 हो गया तो फिर 24 500 पे कर दिया
Yes,
राउंड लेवल की
yes, round level. Because the round levels are the ones which have highest volumes and which are very easily controlled.
ओके सर और ये
Even
ओपनिंग मार्केट पर होगा सीधे
yes, yes. Based on where the market is opening, 200 points in the money put and 200 points in the money call.
ओके सर थैंक यू
Also, you mentioned some time frames, no?
That is, I have set it by default. If you guys want to, because I have seen like this is the time during which these sort of signals work best, like between 10:30 to 2:30.
Okay.
If you want, you can change, but you'll get a lot of noise. See, this thing that I have developed, like if you see right in the market opening, compared to the
Mm.
previous day's close, if the market opens like even 20 or 25 points gap up or gap down, the problem is there is an overnight decay, and this indicator will catch those overnight decay signals also, which are false. Because overnight decay you are not looking for, you are only looking for intraday decay, and that too, the ones which are used to manipulate. So if you reduce this timing to like 9:15 or 9:20, it will give a lot of false noise because you are not actually looking for those overnight decay. You are only looking for 10-15 minutes anomaly divergence.
Okay. So here no settings is required inside this. So only that
Time settings is
Nifty.
more or less time setting is the same. Only thing is call and put you will have to change every day in the morning.
Okay. So down below you said maximum that breakout.
Maximum bars, yeah,
Or
allowed between breakouts. Now, what happens is if I set this to, let's say, now again, this only works on 5 minute time frames, 1 hour, 2 hours, and all. Between two candles itself, you'll have so much decay, it will always give you false signal. 5 or 10, this is the maximum that it will work on. 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Now, why this particular candle, maximum allowed bars allowed between breakouts is, let's say, instead of this particular day low which happened on 10:20, let's say this day low occurs right after 10:30. Let's say this day low has occurred at 10:35, and then this divergence is coming here again. Now, if I give it instead of 6 bars, if I give it like 20 or 25 bars, what it will do is it will again try to compare this particular low that has occurred on 10:35 with the current low which is occurring on 12:35. Now, as I have said earlier, if the lows, intraday lows are like 2 hours apart, put by itself will decay a lot. So that will again generate a false signal. So the accuracy of the signal depends on how low this value is. 5 or 6 is good, but as and when you increase this, the actual intraday decay will also be captured by the signal and you will not get correct one. You will get a lot of false signals.
okay. Okay.
Yesterday, Himanshu asked if I captured reversal. I actually captured reversal using this only. Okay, now that this is done, let's go back to our fine. It's already 11:12. I think we can start now. So if we again start with our usual thing, monthly candle is showing sort of a bullish bias. If you guys remember a couple of days back, I said whenever monthly's first day candle day low is the day opening itself, it is unlikely to revisit this again throughout the entire month. So, basis that, I still believe it is not going to cross, it is not going to break this 24,400 this month. Probably we might hover around here only or then break out and then test this level, but we are not going to break 24,433. So if at all somebody is doing monthly option selling, this sort of a selling at this particular level will be a very good lucrative choice. You still have about, I think, 100 or 140 points. How much is the option left? So 24,400 expiry. It still has 102 points. 102 points is a lot for a month. So if at all somebody is willing to check this out, you can just sell one lot of 24,400 put expiring on 30th September and see where this goes. Because this is a very good risk to reward. Then coming back to weekly, if you guys remember last analysis, we said market is not going to fall because everybody was bearish. And accordingly, market has bounced from that particular level. But the problem is market has closed right in the middle of this previous big candle, which sort of is an inside candle with a bullish harami sort of a characteristic. If the market yesterday would have closed here, it would have been an ideal scenario to go short this week. But since market closed at around 24,741, now we are again stuck in middle of a big range, like 25,000 on the top and 24,400 on the bottom. For a positional move to come, either of this will have to break. As long as we are in this range, we are going to see the same choppiness, like come down, it will bounce, go up, it will reject. The same story will play out. When you come to daily, if you guys remember last to last week, we thought this pattern will work, this pattern will work, but it didn't because everybody was onto this particular pattern. It's nothing out of the box. So it bounced, but it did not bounce so much so as to remove this right shoulder that occurred at 25,150. If at all we had a gap of, let's say, below above this and then had this sharp fall, then we would have been pretty confident saying it will again revisit these levels. But we are still in that particular zone. With Friday's candle being it's not an hammer, it's an harami. But then since it is right in the middle of the range, this harami doesn't make any sense. So Friday's candle is not giving any direction. But then some sort of positive is there is still buying coming from this particular level, 24,620 to 24,500. So for the absolute next week, until unless this level is not taken out, 24,620 to 24,570, there is no point in going short. And on the upside, this is the range 24,950 to 25,000. Now, ideal positional trade will only come, let's say, if the next week we trade in a very small candle and that too within this range, like 25,000 and 24,731. Between this range, if we form a candle, then the third or fourth week, we will definitely see a breakout on top. But if again we form a doji here with body small and then top wick and bottom wick, then this sort of move will continue. Now, what worries me is there have been a lot of big triggers that have come out in the past 1 2 weeks, and still the market has not broken out the range. All of them are positive triggers, and all of them are major structural reforms, but still we have not broken the top range. So we'll have to see how the FIS behave. It's mainly because of FIS. FIS again on Friday shorted a lot. So they have shorted in index futures, they have shorted in stock futures, and they have sold in stocks. And when it comes to index options, they have bought put and bought call, which means they are not themselves clear on the direction. They have just hedged themselves up. And when we come to their overall OI for the futures, these are like at 1.9 lakhs. I don't remember when was 1.9 last time. When was this such a big figure? Entire August it was only 1.5. July also not there. Okay, so nothing so far this year. April also was not there. April was the month where we bounced back, where the actual short covering came, and then we saw that move of 1,000 points. That short covering came from a level of 1.2 lakh future contracts. Now we are at 1.9. So just imagine the ferocity of short covering move if at all it comes. But for that to happen, we need one more week of consolidation in that range before eventually breaking the 25,000 on top. Once we break this, we might get this sort of a move again, like gap up and run away, gap up and run away, gap up and run away, eventually to 26. Now, one more confirmation that I'm waiting for is breaking of this particular trend line. We have tested 1, 2, 3, 4 times already. The next time it tests, it might break out. So keep an eye on this particular trend line. That breaking out level might be when we break this zone 24,920 to 930, because this is a whoever know, I mean, uh, how many of you know about this SMC trading concepts, fair value gaps, BOS, POI, all those things? So if you see in hourly time frame, somebody was saying something.
Yeah, I've studied Baswani and Binali.
Yeah, so if you see a lower time frame of like 30 minutes or 15 minutes, this is a good FVG occurring here, fair value gap. And coincidentally, this is actually touching the trend line also. So whenever the next time we come here, hover around for in this zone for like 15 20 minutes, we will eventually see breakout. That will be the day where we can go positional long. And then coming to let's say 5 minutes for Monday. Monday, the problem is, let's say we open, as of now, GIFT Nifty is showing flat opening because although GIFT Nifty went up, the jobs data that came out of US were very bad. So we saw fall across all the asset classes, Bitcoin, US markets, everything. Although US markets recovered, cryptos did not recover. So Monday, let's say we open again in this zone. Now, till the time these two ranges are not taken out, we cannot see any move, because there is again a zone of resistance, there is again a zone of support here. And then this trend line will sort of be negated if at all we open flat also. So this trend line doesn't make any sense. Now let's say right after opening we form a big red candle, then that means Nifty is actually respecting this trend line, and although it is opening here, it has immediately come down. Then we can go short with first candle highest top till again this particular level or a reversal signal or something flares up. That is for Nifty. If we see for Bank Nifty underperformed Nifty by quite a lot this particular month, only because of HDFC. From the time SEBI said we are going to restructure Bank Nifty, HDFC started falling, because all the big guys who used to sort of buy and sell in HDFC Bank to maintain Bank Nifty. I think they have started removing their positions in HDFC, causing this particular fall. Now, Bank Nifty has formed a big support at this level. If this is broken, 53,500, we will eventually see this in the next 1 or 2 days itself. Because when Bank Nifty starts falling, it will cover this 2,500 points gap in like 2.5 days itself. That is for Bank Nifty. If we see the next one, Bitcoin is at a very good stage to sell. It again tested this FCG, and then once that fair value gap zone was tested, it fell drastically. Now, as soon as this level is taken out, go short, you can eventually test this level, 107, 108 levels. This is a good trade going to happen. Same with Ethereum. If you see the last couple of days, Bitcoin bounced a lot, but Ethereum didn't. Ethereum is gradually coming down. So the skew that we had, that Bitcoin was bearish and Ethereum is bullish, in the last 1 week they are negated. Now Ethereum is sort of bearish and Bitcoin is sort of bullish comparatively, not on the absolute sense. So if at all you want to short, it's better short this because you have a clear defined support zone, whereas in Bitcoin you still have a way down to till 108 to actually come to this sort of a support zone. Gold, as usual, going up only because all the central banks are buying. Gold has broken out. Very good break. That too, lifetime high it has broken out. So no idea where the next target is. You'll just have to ride the wave with a proper trail. Silver also the same thing. All-time high broken, just going and going. You'll have to trail till the time it reverses. That's it for all the asset classes. Now, if you guys have anything to ask, we can discuss that, or otherwise, you tell me what should we do next. Anybody?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ivanshu.
Sir, is the market waiting for Bihar election results because it will be the deciding factor for BJP government?
One thing is that, but that is way off, right? Like Bihar का elections कभी है? When are those elections?
I guess नवंबर में है result तो.
That is very late.
Because it will decide if the NDA government will continue or not.
No, I mean Bihar elections are state elections, right? And the support that they have given are all Lok Sabha election support. So even if that party loses Bihar election, central government is not going to face any problem.
But sir, the यहाँ पे वीडियोस आ रही है ना कि अगर ये हारते हैं और अगर नीतीश कुमार अपना सपोर्ट वापस लेते हैं क्योंकि वो उसको ऑफर करेंगे कांग्रेस वाले कोई बड़ी सीट तो ये तोड़ देगा तभी उनके साथ जो वो कहते हैं हम कोalition गवर्नमेंट तोड़ देगा अपनी साथ छोड़ देंगे तो बस गई बीजेपी.
But that is very way off, right? Like November end, if the results will come, and then poaching candidates will take at least a couple of weeks, so probably December. That is what 2.5 months after as of today. So market is not going to wait in this zone for such a long time because the problem is Nifty is in this zone for the past 3-4 months. I'll
Yes.
show you in weekly. So we
But
came into this zone in May. From May onwards, we are still in this 25,000 to 24,500, the 1,000 point zone. But if you remove this 2 weeks above this 25,000, there is actually nothing which is more. So de facto, we are in the 25,000 to 24,500, which is very fine, which is very small range for Nifty to trade for such a long time, like 500, 550 points. So another 2 months from here, I don't see it. Before that, only we should trade. The trigger that I see is tariff, like this trade deal, because Piyush Goyal last week said before November we'll close the deal with US. So if at all they are able to close this deal, let's say in October itself, then that might act as a trigger.
okay.
Next big trigger is that, or in between, if government decides to give any other structural reform, then that can be a trigger. But after GST reform, I don't think what else they can do. The only thing that is left now to increase consumption is reduce personal income tax, which they are not going to do. So no other trigger for government to act on. The kicker would be if they suddenly come and say like how they did for companies that personal income tax, the highest slab will be capped at 25%. Then you see how the market will go up. But that won't happen again.
And sir, what's the target you see for Ethereum?
Ethereum actually the downside is very low. This at least in 1 or 2 days, and if this gets taken out, then this particular 3886. But 4080 definitely. This week only it should come.
Okay, I am also short Ethereum today. Also, I shorted.
So this week definitely it should come. Bitcoin, the problem is Ethereum did not bounce so much like Bitcoin. Ethereum is still in these zones.
Yes.
So it's always better to short Ethereum rather than Bitcoin, because by the time Ethereum comes to our 4080 zone, Bitcoin will again revisit this only. It will not break. Then both of them would be at a very strong zone. Then both of them might bounce before falling back again. But this fall that happened yesterday is because of that jobs data from US. That was not a predicted fall. I was thinking it is going to stay here for 1 or 2 days more before falling in next week. But the jobs data came very bad and then they fell.
Yes. 12 September is the sir SEBI meeting. करेंगे weekly expiry ban?
No, on the 12th September agenda, weekly expiry is not there on the agenda for that particular day, because as of now they will come out with a consultation paper first, taking all the
Okay.
feedback from the market participants, and after that, supposedly they are supposed to scrutinize for like let's say a week or so, and then based on their scrutiny, they will compile and then put it on the agenda for a board meeting. The 12th September board meeting, I don't think there will be anything on weekly expiry. 12th September board meeting is mainly focused on those AIFs, this intraday limits and all those.
And now market has started moving after that limit increase.
Yes, yes. Limit was
So
increased
hopefully,
2 days back and it started moving. Yes.
hopefully market becomes like earlier also again.
That's it. But
Okay, sir.
VIX
Thank you.
is a worry. I mean, you see VIX how it is behaving. It is almost on the verge of coming into single digits. I mean,
Yeah, VIX is almost at all-time lows on weekly
uh,
closing basis if you see line chart.
yeah, that is what. So where is it trying to go, VIX?
April 23 was the lowest close, I guess, 9 point something if you turn it into line chart.
More or less these areas. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 23, 24.
My God. Okay. Okay. So anybody, anything else?
सर आपने वो बताया था ना जब रेंज में ट्रेवल कर रहा हो तो स्टोकास्टिक आ रहा है सही से देख सकते हैं बिटकॉइन वगैरह मतलब क्रिप्टो।
Okay.
हाँ तो वो एक्सटेंड कर सकते हैं क्या? मैंने पिछले तो मतलब समझने की कोशिश की थी, लगा के इंडिकेटर लगा के ट्राई भी किया था पर समझ नहीं आया।
For scalping.
हाँ स्कैल्पिंग।
To put stochastic RSI. Okay. Whenever market is in a zone, like now Bitcoin is not in a zone. Bitcoin is trending either up or down. So if you go down to another time frame, let's say 15 minutes. Now again, the primary thing to spot again is divergence. Like market is, let's say sideways, and then this is giving you a signal that it is going to fall. Or market is sideways and this is saying it will go up. Then you take that particular idea and then look for breakouts in 5 minutes. Now let's take one particular example. See, this is a consolidation zone in 15 minutes. Now we are not sure where the market is going to go. This zone. We are not sure where the market is going to go, but we want to scalp. Now, if you see this particular zone, market is saying it is trying to go up. And this fall 15 minutes happened when RSI stochastics is saying it is actually wanting to go up. So this is a false breakdown. You will not trade this. Now, once you get again a reverse back into this zone, you will probably trade once this candle is taken out, or you will probably trade once this candle is closed. So again, the same divergence topic, but using RSI divergence, because RSI stochastic divergence works very well in 15 and 5 minutes. It will not work well in higher time. So this is the pattern that I was saying. Again, let's go back to one more consolidation zone. We can see there also. See this consolidation zone. This zone. Let me remove. So this is a consolidation zone. We are not
Yes.
sure where the market wants to go, up or down. I mean, forget about the structure that happened before or the structure that will happen after. Based on this zone, we are not sure where the market is trying to go. But what is RSI saying? RSI is saying market is trying to go up. So we will trade once a candle close above this particular thing, which is here.
Okay.
For a scalp, like 1:2 or 1:3,
So
whatever you
you will
comfort.
trade in RSI direction basically.
RSI stochastic reaction. Bitcoin and all these indicators work very well. In Nifty, these indicators don't work that well because the advantage with Bitcoin is it's a 24-hour sort of a thing where the continuity in all the indicators are maintained. Because Nifty closes at 3:30 and then opens the other day, and then there is usually a gap up or gap down. That particular input that the indicator gets is not continuous. So there will be a lot of noise even with indicators. You see indicators working very well in all of the CFDs because they are working 24 by 7 and there is a continuity of data that is fed into the indicator.
Okay. So can you please explain the reason behind that as well? Because why it's working?
Why it's working in Bitcoin and not in Nifty?
No, why it's working even in Bitcoin? Like, is there any psychology behind it?
No, no psychology. That is what I'm saying. Like in Nifty, every day, like intraday people like us or the big institutions who wants to intraday, they'll come in and set up their positions like 9:30 to 10 in the morning and they square off in at 3 o'clock or 3:15, whatever it is. Now the problem is they have only those 3 or 4 hours in between to lay traps and then hit stop losses or targets from us and so on. So you
Mhm.
don't have that continuous data which is fed into the RSI signal. But here in Bitcoin, since you have all the time this is operating 24 by 7 and you have different zones which come in and go, you have that continuity and all the indicators will work well in Bitcoin. That
Okay,
is
sir.
the only
Got it.
thing. Again, if you see a sideways, let's think this. This is a perfect sideways movement. Now, if you see, this is saying I don't want to come up at all. It is only coming up from here. So if it has flatlined at the bottom, it's a full bearish segment. I mean, no, bearish sentiment. So short whenever you exit the consolidation. I am actually working on an indicator here also. I will give you guys once that indicator is done. I have you see this consecutive single. So I'll work. I'm working on this RSI and consolidation indicator also. Once that is done, I'll share with you. Probably you can use that to scalp. I cannot put more.
So then
Okay.
how will we add this indicator? Can you just search it and add it?
No, you cannot search. This is a personal indicator. I'll give you the Pine script. What you do is, let's say, uh, you go, you are seeing this thing, Pine editor at the bottom left. Are you able to see this?
Yeah, yes.
So take this Pine editor and you'll get this sort of a code. But for you, since you don't have any indicator, you will not get here anything. It will be a blank sort of slate. I'll give you a
Okay.
text file. You just copy those code and then paste the code here. And here, once you paste a code, this update on chart button will be live. You just press update on chart and it will come on chart.
Yes.
If you guys remember on XM, there is this facility to copy trade. I'm doing this, all of this so that I can just automate it on XM and then whoever wants to follow can follow.
So you will be sharing now, sir, those
This
fine.
consolidation indicator is not yet refined, but this one is refined. The one
Well,
that I showed earlier, Nifty. This
Yeah,
is
okay.
this
That
is
is
working
that
perfectly.
is also the same way like Pine Editor.
Yeah, same. Fine. This is working well. 5 minute time frame, it works well.
Okay, great, sir. Thanks for sharing this.
I'll see for another week. I've been seeing this for like 2 weeks. Based on the 200 points up and 200 points down in the money, it is giving clear signals. So far, 8 in favor and 2 uh, against. Like 2 of them failed. One is this, the other one is this. 2 of them failed. Everything else, 1:3 was achieved. See, this one achieved, 2 achieved, this failed, this achieved. This was a different zone, so not working, and this achieved.
Okay.
Like that. But when you trade using that indicator, I will advise trade with only one lot so that you get familiarity of how to adjust and how to be in the positions and all of that. Don't trade with heavy quantity.
Okay, sure.
So in the latest trade, have you hold it till the last point or just exited at one is to
This one,
three?
half
Yeah,
of it I exited here, the other half somewhere here.
Okay.
If you guys remember, I think at 215 or something, I said there is one more round of short covering left for Nifty.
yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So after that, once this candle formed, that was evident that it is not going to happen, that short covering. So I exited here, but half of it I exited at this zone only because this was resistance where it took a couple of rejections last time.
Okay, so you are exiting based on the price action only, not on this
Yeah.
indicator.
Yes. If this sort of a resistance comes much before 1:3, then I don't take that trade because
Okay.
my basic premise is 1:3. In this case, 7 points was the stop loss, so at least 20 points I should get. Okay, then let's close. Thank you guys. See you next time.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.